In the United States, it's literally written into our Declaration of Independence that we hold the fundamental right to the pursuit of happiness. But what does it even mean to pursue happiness? What does it even mean to achieve happiness? And how do we live in a culture where the pursuit of happiness is a universal right, yet rates of depression, anxiety, and suicide are ever increasing?
Happiness is something that feels like everybody is chasing after. And I personally have struggled with depression in the past. There was a time in my life where I felt so disconnected and I honestly felt so hopeless. And it was through the practices of yoga and meditation that I found myself again.
So when an organization called The Art of Living invited me to come and try out one of their weekend meditation retreats called the Happiness Program, I was very intrigued to see what this was all about. And after seeing this retreat center is located in the gorgeous mountains of Boone, North Carolina, I was ready to pack my bags.
So when I found out about the Happiness Program, I was so excited and I knew that I needed to come and experience this for myself. But I want to bring somebody who maybe has never exposed themselves to these things or doesn't really know much about meditation to see if it might help them. So I've decided to bring my brother Zane along for this adventure.
Hi, my name is Zane. I am Sky's younger brother. I'm 19 years old. I'll be turning 20 in a couple weeks. This is a pretty big cornerstone year of my life, I think.
Hanging on my whisper in my ear, it feels like home.
So I decided to take a different path than diving right into college out of high school, not knowing exactly what I wanted to do and taking on debt. I think it's hard for any person my age to know exactly what they want to do. More often than not, we feel like we are not in the right place in life and not where we want to be. I think I totally have a hard time feeling present, and I'm really trying to figure out and find a clear path.
My brother Zane is amazing. He's so talented. He is so funny. Zane has been entertaining our entire family since he was born, pretty much.
Yeah, baby! Yeah.
When I was younger, I had a lot of anxiety and stress and just a lot of emotions going on. And I've been working through that my whole life. I'm very grateful for the life that I have and the privilege that I was born into and the loving family that I have. Not a lot of people have that. I don't want to take that for granted. Although I'm not happy with where I am in my life because I feel like I can do so much better and contribute so much more. There's a lot of stress through pressure that I put on myself and expectations I have for myself.
Where did the time go?
Zane has so much talent, it's crazy, but I see so much of myself in him when I was his age, having a lot of potential and not having any idea what to do with it or what direction to take. I am just so grateful that I did find these practices when I did because they gave me the clarity to know how to move forward. And they may or may not work for him, I don't know, but all I can do is expose him to these things and maybe they might be able to help him.
I don't know where we're going yet.
We're on the way to the airport to go to North Carolina to the Art of Living retreat. I don't know anything about this place, so.
Do you have any fears?
I didn't bring enough underwear.
Got a lot of time on our hands, yeah, don't have to rush it.
Flight 1383 with service to Raleigh.
Easy, let it come, let the sun hit ya. Easy, let it come, don't worry about tomorrow. Why waste your time working 9 to 5? Yeah, we're so young, baby, and we're flying to the sky. So easy, let it come, let the stars hit ya. Easy, let it, cause we're so young, baby.
My goal is to approach this weekend with an open mind, learn skills that will help me with stress, and ultimately leave this place being fully ready and prepared to taking as much action as I can.
We're here.
I think this is a cult, Sky.
What?
First impressions were, yeah, like it was rainy, it was cold. I was like, I don't know if I want to be here. Like, let's take a flight to Florida. Let's go sit on the beach. You know, color schemes, like that's like cult yellow. And it's the dining hall. Oh, Jesus. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. Don't drink the wheatgrass, actually. That's such a cult playground. Oh my God, what is going on? What's going on here? It doesn't help that this is a rainy day. I was very scared. I had very strong judgments that I had made right away. I think a lot of that had to do with just not having a lot of food that day, and I was like stressing.
We're in the middle of the mountains, number one. Number two, dining hall is painted Colt yellow. This is usually how horror movies start, Skylar.
This is a retreat center, so
That's how they get you. Cue the creepy violin. Yep, looks like a cult to me.
When we first arrived, it was a gloomy day, it was rainy, there weren't many people there yet because we came a little bit early. There's this huge property, it's absolutely beautiful. It's at the top of the mountain and we're looking out and seeing this beautiful mountain landscape. As soon as we meet some of the members of their team, I'm put at ease because they're so kind and warm and they have really good energy. So I start to get a little bit more comfortable being here.
Yeah, I'm a newbie.
Well, that's wonderful. And that's the thing, with this program is that if you've had a lot of experience or if you're just kind of completely, fresh and new to it, you can get a lot out of it.
So the Art of Living is a huge non-for-profit organization. It has a presence in more than 150 countries.
And the goal of the Art of Living is to create a stress-free, violence-free society. So we got our work cut out for us.
And the beauty of the approach is that it starts from one individual at a time. So the happiness program is one of our introductory programs in the Art of Living. It's a 3-day workshop where you get personally trained by one of our teachers to be able to practice these techniques every day on your own at home, equipping every individual with a practical toolkit of techniques and wisdom to be able to manage our stress and our negative emotions in a healthy, natural, and sustainable way.
Oh, it's beautiful here. People are very nice, welcoming. Food is really good, vegetarian style. It's gonna take some getting used to, but the water was a little bit murky, but it's okay.
Stop. The first night of the happiness program is really interesting. We do this exercise where we get to meet a bunch of people in the group and we start diving into some of these techniques right away. One of the really cool things about the Art of Living and the happiness program is that one of their main techniques is called the Sudarshan Kriya, or the sky meditation technique. So knowing that there is a meditation called sky makes me really want to try it out.
The core practice within the happiness program is called sky for short. It stands for a Sanskrit terminology, Sudarshan Kriya Yoga. This particular practice is an advanced breath-based practice that is unique in its ability to really have multiple effects, really getting to the true depth of meditation very quickly.
I mean, in terms of the peer-reviewed studies, we have about 70 peer-reviewed studies. We just published in the British Journal of Psychiatry, and we showed that by using our techniques, you have a 3 times greater chance of having remission from your depression and anxiety than treatment as usual alone.
So with depression and anxiety, we've noticed that it really helps reduce the levels of cortisol in the system and increase serotonin.
Sky breathing is having an effect down to the epigenetics of how we express our cellular function. It really shifts the nervous system quickly. At Wake Forest Integrative Medicine Clinic, we've actually started using sky breathing for our patients, and about 120 or so have voluntarily gone through the sky breathing program and have had significant benefits. All the testimonials are, really showing what the research is indicating.
So as we got into the Sudarshan Kriya breathing, I started to feel tingling in my face after the first round, and I got very, very anxious. It was a lot of fear.
Unfortunately, we don't have on camera what Zane was experiencing because they had all the cameras turned off during the sky breathing technique. They really didn't want cameras disrupting the process for everybody. I think it's probably better cameras weren't there. It was a lot.
So Spencer and Boone, the 2 teachers, were handling it very well. They came over to me, they acknowledged that I was freaking out a little bit and were just trying to calm me down and tell me everything was okay and it was completely normal and this might occur in the first time you were doing this type of meditation. And that really is what I needed to hear to calm down and just go with it.
The beautiful thing about the breath and the Sudarshan Kriya is that it brings the mind completely to the present moment. Not only that, breath is linked to emotion.
We don't always think about how much we store emotions in our body physically. These breathwork techniques are designed to draw them all out. So when that happens, it might not be pretty.
So when the tension started to release in my hands and I stopped shaking so much, I was overwhelmed with a sense of gratitude. I started laughing so hard. It was like, holy what just happened? It was like a natural high, and I got a rush of endorphins, like so much of it. Next thing you know, I see a young version of myself. It's very vivid, and I even know where it was in the memory. The kid just needed a hug so bad, so I went over and hugged a younger version of myself. I don't know why that thought came to me.
The kid really needed a hug for some reason, and I gave that kid a hug, and it made me just like cry laughing. You know what I mean? It just made me so grateful.
I didn't have much physical sensation come up. I have had breathwork experiences that are very physically intense, but this was far more emotionally intense than it was physical for me. I was thinking a lot about Zane and our childhood, and I had a lot of guilt come up for times that I could have been a better sister to him. It honestly brought up a lot of that stored guilt and shame I was holding on to, and it just all bubbled up and came out. And then I was just feeling so much gratitude for my brother and that he's here with me, and so much love, and just wanting him to feel safe.
After the first night, I was a little bit shooken up. It was a mixture of confusion and emotions.
I could tell that Zane was having some doubts being here. He was having a lot of fear come up. He wasn't totally sure about some of the techniques and whether they were safe or not.
Is this okay?
It's totally safe. There's
okay.
like almost 40 years of medical research, so it's definitely safe.
Spencer and Berlin, the teachers, warned us that doing these type of practices, it's like shaking out a rug, an old rug. You're getting all the dust off and emotions are brought up. So that's what was happening, and it was tough to go to sleep that night for sure.
So in the morning session, we start to learn some of the principles of the happiness program, and we start to learn some actual techniques for managing stress, anxiety in our everyday lives.
So we learned some pretty powerful sutras and core values that we can take away from this weekend and bring into our daily lives.
We also did more meditation, more breath work, and we did a second round of the sky breathing technique.
The second session of sky meditation was a lot less intense than my first session. I didn't have that anxiety that I had that first night. A lot of vibration, more vibration throughout my body. It was more memories bouncing around all over the place. A couple interesting memories.
One critique that I have of the happiness program is that I feel like some of it was a little bit too fluffy, and they weren't diving as deep into how we could better manage our negative emotions when they do come up.
It seemed like the teachers were pushing a more utopian mindset onto us. There's light and dark in life. I don't think we addressed a lot of the darkness. I feel like it's very important to do that when a lot of that darkness is coming up during this breath work. It was kind of blanketed.
And I wanted it to go deeper. I feel like it was good, but it was just a little bit too butterflies and rainbows.
Sky and I got into a lot of arguments over the weekend. They needed to happen for sure.
And we got in fights. Like, it was not easy. We were, going through our normal brother-sister fighting and whatever. We had to learn how to work through it and even apply some of these tools to some of the more human experiences that we were having. It's snowing out here.
Hey, this ain't nothing. This ain't no snow.
I come to North Carolina for sunshine and flowers, and I get snow.
What the?
What the? So after lunch, Zane and I go to pottery, and we're super excited because we both really love pottery. This is just such an amazing way to get creative, to use our hands, to put our phones away, to get present and just play like we did when we were kids with some clay slabs, and we made these beautiful lotus flowers, and it was super, super fun.
It's great getting your hands just into the elements and making stuff and rolling clay and all that good stuff. I made a little candle holder for my girlfriend, so hopefully that'll come out good.
We all have to pass someday. We all have to pass away. Yeah.
Rate Govinda, Govinda Rate.
Every Bostonian knows this trick.
That's for sure.
It's alright, just keep on living. We can all go back to a beginning.
The final day was all about human connection, which is one of the most important things when it comes to happiness. We are social beings and we need authentic, genuine connection with each other to be happy. So it makes sense that the final day dove really deep into this.
A great thing about this program is there's all sorts of people in the room with different political beliefs, religions, ethnicities, backgrounds. None of that mattered in the room meditating together and sharing. It was a very vulnerable and accepting and a comfortable environment to share what you're going through.
You know, we're not just our mind, we're not just our body. We have a spirit, and I would say medicine is finally getting to where we realize that the art of healing requires us to go to the spirit level.
I definitely was not expecting the physical aspects and power that can come with meditation. I think it's taken me to a place of respect towards it.
I think this experience was really valuable. I learned a lot about myself, and Zane and I learned a lot about our relationship as brother and sister.
I found a lot of clarity this weekend, for sure. One of the main things that I realized after this weekend is that a lot of my stress comes from comparing myself to others, and that the only thing that I can control is my state of mind in the present moment. Nobody is gonna give you happiness. You have to find it within yourself. That's all, folks.
Oh, I know we'll never be alone. But oh, do you know that I never let you go, let you go.